Welcome to LEGO Group's tutorial on nano-ceramic e-coating. First we will program our machine, followed by a thorough look into the entire process. Start by pressing the power button to commence operations. The high voltage switch will allow you to switch from a rectifier that maximizes at 12 volts to a high voltage rectifier that maximizes at 49 volts. Set the timer by simply pressing the second or minute button and select your desired setting. To synchronize the voltage and the time, simply press the timer switch down into position 2. You will notice that the voltage will fall to 0. When pressing start on the timer, the time will start and so will the voltage. When the time cycle is finished, you will notice that the voltage will also fall to 0. You are now ready to start your nano-ceramic e-coating application. It is important to note that you should be working in a clean environment free from dust and dirt. Preparing the pieces is a very important step in coating. Here we have two types of copper wire. One is very thin and very soft. The other is more thick and hard. We will start by fixturing a rather easy sample. The sample is easy because it has a hole. You can hang the piece on a rack, positioned up and away from dirt. To hang a more difficult piece, like a ring, that doesn't have any place to hide a contact point, take a smaller piece of copper wire, stiff. The one that you used before is more soft and morbid. This one's stiff and creates some spring when bending. Take the copper wire and bend with some strength in half in a U formation. Take a pair of pliers, grab the tip of the U, and fold out. Then repeat on the other side. Once you have the copper wire bent into formation, take the tips of the U and cut as sharp as you can. Now that you have the sharp edges on each end of the copper wire, you can position the ring on the fixture like this, minimizing the impact point. Now we're ready to fill the tanks in the machine. First, we take our electro cleaner, or degreasing agent, and we put into tank 1. In tank 2, we put neutralization solution, otherwise known as acid dip. In the third tank, we use pure water, deionized or distilled. Now we're ready to pour our clear nano-ceramic e-coating solution. Pour the solution into the tank through a compatible micro mesh filter. This filter is designed to remove all dust and undesired particles. Otherwise, these dust and particles may give you an undesired result. Now we're ready to start cleaning the piece. We start with electro cleaner or degreasing. This operation is carried out at 1 minute time and at 6 volts of electricity. If you're using a leg or group e-coating unit, you will notice that the red light will be off because you're working in a lower voltage setting. Take the piece prepared on the copper wire, put into the solution, and wrap around the hang bar. To commence electrocleaning, press the start button on the timer. You will notice that the voltage will rise to the proper levels, and also the amperage will raise. When the process is finished, extract the piece from the electrolytic solution and wash in the water tank. This unit is hooked up with a faucet or a built-in shower. Now we move on to the neutralization step. It is essential to dip the piece in and out of the solution, creating turbulence. From the neutralization solution, move over to the next tank, which is the pure water rinse. Following the pure water rinse, it is essential to wash the piece again. To prevent problems in coating, after cleaning, we dry the pieces at 80 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Place the pieces in the oven at 80 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes and remove. Allow the pieces to cool to room temperature, and now you're ready for coating. If you're using a leg or group machine, you'll notice the red light is on when working in higher voltages. Turn the knob all the way to the maximum position to the right. By flipping the switch up, you'll notice that the voltage is ready set at maximum capacity, suitable to work with this technique. By pressing the timer button down, you can now set the desired time, generally a couple of seconds. Now submerge the clean and dried piece into the nano-ceramic solution, dipping the piece up and down. Inspect if the piece is covered, uniform and well prepared. Fasten the copper wire to the hang rod above the solution. Commence coating by pressing the start button on the timer. Despite the high voltage, the amperage is close to 0, but still quite sufficient for plating. As the timer stops, so will the voltage. Now, you can take your piece out of the solution and you will notice a uniform coverage. Extract the excess coating residue from the piece in a tank of DI or distilled water. Following this tank, move into a second tank of DI or distilled water. As all of the residue is removed from the first tank, the second tank should always remain clean. After the second tank, now we hit the piece with running pure water. Following the pure water, we dip the piece in a rinse aid solution, which is capable of removing all of the water drops from the piece. Finally, dry the piece with compressed air. If you do not have access to compressed air, hang the piece dry for 5 to 30 minutes. Use a paper towel to remove any water drops that accumulate at the bottom of the piece. Preheat the oven to 150 degrees C. Put the coated pieces inside the oven. The pieces should not touch or come in contact with another. After 30 minutes, extract the pieces from the oven and let cool to room temperature. Take a pair of cutters and remove the copper wire. you'll notice that the blue color over a white surface is very shiny, whereas the blue color over a yellow surface is more dark. The color variation is due to the difference in the background of the coating, being that the coating is transparent. It looks different over a yellow or a white metallic background. That's Nano-ceramic Coating by Legor Group, where innovation inspires creativity.